Welcome to Metals Investors Forum. My name is Brian Leni. I'm the editor of Junior Stock Review Premium. Today with me, I have Ewan Webster, CEO of Thesis Gold. Ewan, thank you so much for presenting with me this week or the last 2 days at Metals Investors Forum. Let's start with Steve.
Sure.
Great hit. I think it's hard sometimes when you already have so much value already there that you don't get full credit for what I think is a phenomenal drill hole. Yeah. But let's talk about that drill hole to start off. And I forget the exact numbers, but to me, it's evidence of the potential still on the exploration side at Ranch with Thesis.
Yeah, so I mean, Steve, we drilled that back in 2022, made the discovery there, 120 meters of a gram, so bigger kind of bulk tonnage system. But our rationale for going back there was like, as long as you're in the gold system, there's potential for higher grade mineralization. And we drilled 5 holes over about 750 meters strike length, trying to find some of that high grade. And one of them we did, 38 meters at 3.6. So as you said, phenomenal hole. And there's that kind of 10-10 interval in there as well.
Yeah.
Can't remember exactly what it is, but strong mineralization.
Yeah.
And around that hole as well, there's hundreds of meters of volume that we can go back and fill that. And really what I want to do is try and do that early in the season, try and pull that mineralization up towards surface. And if we get an indication that that's going to build out into something pretty significant, I think we try and drill that out pretty quickly, pull it in a feasibility study. But it's that kind of exploration potential at Ranch that we've been talking about for a long time.
Yep.
Could really kind of move the needle here on what already is a phenomenal project.
Yeah. And so very much the porphyry potential is still there. Like this is especially in a region that I think is so hot because of other success in the porphyry range of things. But for you guys, like this clearly shows that you're somewhere near the top of the system and you just have to find where that porphyry is sitting. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think you'll see a press release on this pretty soon, like kind of outlining where we are in the porphyry environment. And I think all it says, I think the 2026 drill season will be pretty compelling from a porphyry exploration standpoint.
So take us through 2026. You know, you're touching on the exploration part, which is a very exciting portion of it. What's the feasibility study going to look like? When do you expect that timeline to sort of unveil?
So we began the feasibility level work last summer to get a bit of a jump on it. This summer, we need to do about 10,000 meters more drilling, and it's really just focused on geotech, geochem, hydro, metallurgy, across both projects, but mostly at Ranch, and that'll be kind of the last field work that we need to do for a feasibility study. And once we get all that data collected in the fall, we get right into the desktop component of it, and it should be out in the second half of 2027. Oh, wow. So really this year is all about kind of de-risking, continuing to collect the data we need. Second half of 27, the feasibility comes out. I don't think it's going to look hugely different from the PFS.
Yep.
Commodity prices are hopefully going in the right direction. So I think you're going to see some phenomenal numbers there. And then we're going to continue advancing the permitting over the course of this year. We started that late last year, but good time to be in the permitting phase. Nice to see some permits getting accelerated through the process. Like Centerra just got their amendment to Milligan way ahead of schedule, which is awesome. And Premier Abbey was commenting on it as well, which is really nice to see.
Yeah.
BC government, some good conviction there.
Totally.
And then, they just do upside in the exploration program. So that's kind of the roadmap for 2026.
Excellent. I think a lot of people forget the silver component, especially, Thesis Gold. The gold is front and center, as it should be. It's the bulk of the value, but you're still talking about 20-25% that comes from silver. And, in a $100 per ounce silver environment, that becomes more and more meaningful.
Yeah.
Take us through what that actually looks like. If you guys were producing it right now, what would that silver component look like?
I'm not sure what that would actually be worth right now, but as you said, at the commodity prices we used in the study in December, at 35 silver, it was 23% of the revenue, and at $100 silver, it's going to be considerably more than that. But I think one of the fantastic things that we've not kind of leaned into too much yet is that there's no big silver deposits out there, and often is a byproduct of all sorts of other minerals, whereas for us, it's a co-product with gold, and there's no deleterious elements in here or anything. It's in a great jurisdiction. The infrastructure's there. It's 105 million ounces. there's just these type of deposits just don't exist. So I think that puts us in a very small group of projects in the development phase with huge silver kicker. So it gives us a lot of flexibility going forwards, and I can just see the commodity price continue to rally. So yeah, we're well positioned to take advantage of that.
Totally. And like as an investor, and I this is what I do every day. I'm making comparisons. I'm looking around the sector. And I think for investors that are looking for something, now that everything is sort of risen, that easy money has been made, you have to be very precise in what you're looking at. And I think the sweet spot for people that are looking is in these developers that have at least a PFS, that are fairly close to that construction decision. There just isn't a lot out there when it comes to the higher quality. And to me, Thesis is at or near the very top of that list for a number of reasons. And like one of those big reasons is how simplistic. If you go back to last September, I believe I said this in my presentation, was the simplicity of it is what really attracts me to some of these projects, and in particular Laura's Ranch.
Yeah.
And when you go through that and you go through what you guys need to do to on that path, de-risking it towards that construction decision, it seems pretty clear exactly where you're headed and what the probability is of you getting there.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. And we kind of benefit a little bit from Artemis going through this not too long ago as well. They kind of laid the foundation of what it looks like to build a mine as a single asset company, build a mine in BC, go through the permitting, did a great job working with the nations. And I think, the government is just well prepared now to permit other big projects, especially with, the Premier and the kind of mandate of, let's say, Canada to start developing bigger projects, bigger things that are going to impact the GDP of the country.
Right. And given the popularity, and the success in the Toodoggone, to me, you guys sit as that crown jewel to at least start that consolidation process. And I think somebody, especially on the gold side, is going to look and say, hey, if there is a ton of ounces of gold there, somebody needs to take that, whether that's Centerra, whether that's maybe somebody bigger. I think all the groundwork's there, especially with you guys having strategic placement. So it puts you in that category. I think that's very unique compared to what else is out there.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, the Toodoggone has really kind of exploded over the last few years, and I think I've been kind of banging the drum on that for a while. Like we needed to spend more money here, and more discoveries are going to be made. It's really nice to see that happening now, and the tailwinds are there. I mean, as Centerra put the PEA out on Kemess earlier this week with some conviction of, we're going ahead with this, which is great to see, kind of cornerstone of the district. But yeah, I mean, I think we're very well positioned to, even as just standalone asset, the economics are fantastic. So, but it is right for consolidation.
Ewan, thank you so much for presenting with me this week. Really appreciate it. And for all of you, I think Thesis should be at the top of your list of gold companies to look at in this bull market.